Fun fact, did you guys know the term incel was actually coined by a female? Her name is Elana, and her original definition of the word incel was anybody of any gender who was lonely, never had sex, or who hadn't been in a relationship in a long time. The word incel has been thrown around so much in modern day culture, and it's a common label placed specifically on males, usually to insult them, especially online. I'm looking at you, Reddit. Incel is short for involuntarily celibate, and refers to a frustrated man who feels unable to develop romantic or sexual relationships despite wanting one. A femcel is essentially the same thing, except it refers to women, who often express feeling undesirable and rejected. So with that being said, let's explain the femcel phenomenon and how it relates to female isolation and loneliness. Femcels and sexual frustration. Similar to incels, femcels often express romantic and sexual frustration rooted in feelings of fear and worthlessness. In one fascinating research study about femcels published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior, researchers collected data from over 24,000 posts from a dedicated online femcel community to understand and identify common themes and patterns within their online conversations. This was done by coding 1,200 posts containing the keywords sex, power, frustration, and revenge. One of the key themes identified frequently was sexual frustration, with many women attributing it to not being able to find high-quality partners. In one discussion, a woman wrote, "A generous, attentive, even understanding lover does not exist for ugly femcels." The researcher also found that many women on these femcel forums expressed resentment about pretty privilege and not feeling attractive or young enough. The grievances and frustration around sex, relationships, and perceived attractiveness by femcels paralleled some of the themes associated with the incel community. But there are still stark differences in the ways these two different groups express themselves and how their experiences manifest. The pink pill. Similar to what's referred to as the red pill within male culture, the pink pill refers to a belief system that claims to reveal the harsh truths about gender dynamics, dating, and society, which are believed to be intentionally hidden or denied by mainstream culture. The pink pill philosophy claims that women who are considered undesirable or even ugly are victims of deeply ingrained societal beauty standards and need to recognize and accept this rather than comfort and delude oneself. Beauty standards placed on women perpetuate feelings of loneliness and exclusion, and many in the femcel community feel that it limits their options in the dating pool. While men might be judged by things like height, income, and social status, women who identify as femcels often express feeling judged by their weight, makeup, style, and of course, their age. It's important to remember that toxic beauty standards aren't reflective of the person, but of society as a whole. It's the unfortunate reality that many women face, and it's a driving force behind why they may choose to identify as a femcel when they feel they don't fit into these standards. Sad girl core and mental health. There's a common theme around the discourse on femcel culture, which is a general disappointment around men, love, and relationships, and feeling misunderstood and overlooked as a whole. In an academic article published by the European Journal of Cultural Studies, the authors explain that the term femcel within contemporary social media platforms and internet culture is articulated to express an identity into the world, often a romanticized notion of being lonely, pathetic, or toxic towards relationships in some way. Even though male incel culture often claims that women yield an infinite degree of sexual power and access, femcels argue that they're constrained by societal standards of beauty and femininity that can manifest into mental health issues such as depression and social anxiety. Unfortunately, femcel culture parallels the same bleak sentiments and toxic internet culture as its male incel counterparts, and femcel spaces can become echo chambers that reinforce pessimism, black and white thinking, or fatalism about relationships. So with that in mind, one of the themes within femcel culture that comes up a lot is sad girl core. For those who aren't familiar with this term, you might think of melancholic Lana Del Rey or Billie Eilish edits on TikTok, or dare I say, Tumblr. Where are my millennials at? However, sad girl core is more than just an internet aesthetic. Sad girl core is an extension of femcel culture and the feelings behind female angst, rejection, and disillusionment about relationships with males. Those who identify as femcels express their mental health issues and deep-seated resentment around sex and relationships in the content we see online, but it's often displaced, as this content always tends to solely blame men and society for all of their problems, similar to male incel culture. And it's toxic when both femcels and incels engage in this behavior. The biggest problem with leaning into femcel or incel culture is that it can result in feelings of resentment and even anger or hatred, because it's an endless feedback loop of pessimism about one's circumstances, which can exacerbate existing mental health issues or conditions. So, what do you guys think of this topic? We'd love to hear your thoughts, opinions, and lived experiences in the comment section. As always, have a wonderful day.